Welcome to PeopleTools Tech Tips. I'm Randy Groncki. Today we're going to talk about Object Owner ID. Most PeopleSoft objects can declare an owner ID. PeopleSoft has about 300 or 400 different options for the owner ID. All it is an XLAT value on the Object Owner ID field. Every defin table has the Object Owner ID field, and this is selected the different PeopleSoft apps in that application. HR, Finance, Student Administration has their Object Owner ID set to that module of that application. You creating new custom objects should not be using PeopleSoft's module Object Owner IDs. You should create new ones for your custom modules, your custom objects, to very clearly state what this object was initially created for and where it's used. Now these are information only fields. It really doesn't do anything other than show up on upgrades, and then when we bring up the properties box on an object, we can see them there. So use it. Have one for your entire implementation if that's what you want to do minimally. However, how about every major customization module that you have in your implementation, you have a different Object Owner ID, so you can see where those custom objects are initially used. And when you're seeing an object and you're pulling up a field, maybe I can reuse this field, you can see where that field was initially used. Maybe you can tell you don't want to do any further customizations of that custom object because of collateral damage to other custom modules that you already have in your system. So let's take a look at the Object Owner ID, how to add new values to it, how to bring up an object and set that object's owner ID to that new values, and then how to promote it, because you have to promote those new Object Owner IDs to all your environments, so when you view those object properties in those different environments, the value comes through. Here's one of my custom record definitions. Opening the properties, we can see the owner ID field does not have a value assigned. Clicking the drop down on the owner ID field results in a list of several hundred delivered PeopleSoft options, all delivered PeopleSoft modules and groups. None of them really provide a good owner for this custom object. Let's open the Object Owner ID field. This is the field that is on all the object definitions to define the owner. The field properties show that it's a delivered PeopleTools field. Clicking on the Translate Values tab shows the field has several hundred active translate values. Let's add our own translate value to the group. Add. I'm going to prefix my value with an X, my implementation's custom object naming convention's prefix. Set in the date and the long and short name. Click OK and save our changes. Include the translate values in our PeopleTools project. Open up our custom record definition again and back to the properties page. Change our owner ID to the custom value we just created. OK, and save the project. Clicking on the properties page again shows us the owner ID is still set to our custom value. Let's go back to the Object Owner ID field and add another custom owner ID. This one will be more specific to our custom images module. OK, and save the changes again. Back to our custom record definition, and we can now choose our new custom owner ID value. You can define the default owner ID for all the new objects you create in your PeopleTools options page. Click on Tools, then Options. Then click the Owner ID tab. Change the default to one of your new custom Object Owner ID values. Any new object you create will default the owner ID to this value. Let's create a new record definition. Add some fields, save it and give it a record name. Open the Properties tab. The default owner ID we just set is here as the new record object's owner ID. We need to promote these new Object Owner ID translate values to all our environments. If the value is not in every environment, the Properties tab will show a blank owner ID and the assignment will be lost. Here are all the translate values from the Object Owner ID when we save the change. Let's remove all the delivered translates and only leave and promote our new custom values. So that's Object Owner ID. How do you use it in your implementation? Or how will you use it in your implementation from now on? Thanks for watching. Please consider subscribing to our channel, and we'll see you next time here on PeopleTools Tech Tips.